What is up, guys? It's your boy, Rickakis in the flesh, and today we got to talk about the Gjallarhorn situation because this has caused a bunch of drama within the community, and I don't get it. And I want to talk about it. So, what the heck is going on? What is the Gjallarhorn situation if you're behind on the lore? So, essentially, Xur showed up this weekend with quite the surprise. He is selling Gjallarhorn. And if you're hearing this for the first time, you have a couple more days to go and get it if you're someone who doesn't have it. Now, why is this a big deal? I mean, Xur sells exotic weapons every time he shows up. Well, the Gjallarhorn, to get it, until this weekend, you had to buy the 30th anniversary pack, which is still on sale for around $32 in Canadian funny bucks. So it's probably around $25 US, right? So he showed up, he's selling the Gjallarhorn, and most importantly, you do not need to own the 30th anniversary pack to buy it. So free-to-play accounts are logging on this weekend and getting something they used to have to, spend $25 to have access to. It was also part of a big dungeon quest to go in and do all these things and get it. So some people even who owned the 30th anniversary pack, not many, but some people who maybe weren't able to do the dungeon, they still haven't even gotten the Gjallarhorn. And again, now you can just buy it outright from Xur. Now, why is Bungie doing this? Because this has never happened before. In fact, I believe a couple times when the Arbalest, another exotic weapon, was being sold by Xur, you actually had to have the Forsaken bundle purchased in order to buy it from Xur. So this is very out of the ordinary, right? Well, Bungie is doing it because this weekend is actually the 10th anniversary of when Xur first sold the Gjallarhorn in Destiny 1, which is looked back on as an iconic moment because the people who bought the Gjallarhorn, their accounts were the best accounts in Destiny 2 at that point, right? And people who said, you don't even use a heavy that much, why not spend your valuable strange coins on a primary weapon? A lot of people made that mistake. I don't want to talk about what I did, but I am very, very glad I got it soon after from the Vault of Glass chest, is all I want to say on that situation, okay? But again, an iconic moment, and so Bungie is just, in my opinion, doing something fun and saying 10 years ago, Xur sold the Gjallarhorn, and everyone had access to it. 10 years later, it's the same thing. And everyone can go and get the Gjallarhorn. So why are people upset? Well, there's actually a few different reasons, and one of the main ones is this comment right here, which was made on my Xur review video for this weekend, saying, wow, I pay for expansions / packs and do the quest just for people to get it all for free later, with 300 likes. So a lot of people have been saying this type of thing on YouTube comments, on Twitter, etc. What the heck is this? Space communism? I buy with my hard-earned doubloons, and now you're telling me some brand new player can get it for free? Now listen, I actually completely understand being upset about this if you're someone who recently bought the 30th anniversary pack. Someone out there bought it on Thursday night because their friends convinced them to get the Gjallarhorn, and then Xur sells it Friday. That guy should get a refund, you know what I mean? But this line of thinking, I think, is a huge problem because it's preventing Bungie from fixing one of the main problems with Destiny. Guys, people say, Destiny's dying, Destiny is dead, constantly. People have been saying this since Destiny 1 came out, for goodness sakes. And there is a lot of truth to that statement because Destiny is constantly dying. One of the biggest problems of this franchise that Bungie has yet to fix is that it has a hugely hard time getting new players. New players are just not signing up to Destiny, so you have a slow decline. The best Bungie can do when they put out a banger expansion is attract people who used to play, is attract returning players. They're not getting brand new players, and if they are, they're in super, super limited numbers. Now, why? Well, one of the biggest reasons by far is this absolute monstrosity right here. This is the DLC, the full DLC for Destiny 2 on sale right now for Steam. Now again, $421 in Canadian funny money, so it's probably more like $350 US or whatever. But guys, Do you know how impossible it is to convince your friends to play Destiny 2 if this is the first thing they see? Like, are you kidding me? Who's gonna download this game? Who's gonna be like, oh yeah, 300? No problem, dude. And yeah, there's a couple of emote bundles in there as well, but still, it's gonna be around $250 to $300 onboarding into Destiny. How do you even call Destiny 2 a free-to-play game? Like, it technically is, but all the best content is locked away in these DLCs, and even the oldest ones are for sale. For the Forsaken pack, dude, you don't even get the campaign. They took the campaign away from us, and they're still selling, like, just the weaponry, right? This is a huge problem, okay? And it is preventing so many new players. I guarantee there's so many people who think about playing Destiny 2, they see something cool, their friends talk about it, and they're just stopped dead in their tracks by looking at the DLC prices, and they just leave, and they never consider playing the game, right? So how do you fix this? In my opinion, you fix this by making, this is a radical opinion on my part, okay? You don't have to agree with me, but I personally think make every DLC older than 2 years free. Just make it free. Because, like, who is buying Beyond Light right now? Like, what are the numbers? I'm sure Bungie's making some money on Beyond Light, but, like, how much, really? Versus, what if you just had a big event, for a season, let's say, for episode 3, that's coming out later this year. They have a bunch of stasis buffs, because stasis actually does need some help. They have a bunch of stasis subclass buffs, and they also say, by the way, Beyond Light is completely free from this point on. So you can hop in, try stasis, and do all this stuff. And again, I think they should do that for why the heck is Shadow Keep for sale, bro? Shadow Keep. And again, the Forsaken pack I already talked about, like, these are things that Bungie can't possibly be making that much money on to warrant the benefit of a potential influx of new players if you suddenly start making these DLCs free. Or older players who, upon hearing this stuff is free, come back to the game. Because guess what, dude? As soon as I found out Gjallarhorn was actually for sale, I've texted a few real-life friends. I've texted like 5 people that used to play the game. I was like, hey, Xur is selling Gjallarhorn. Dude, of those 5 people, 2 of them, who have not played in literal years, they hopped back onto the game. They reinstalled the game. They went and they found out they needed some strange coins. I didn't tell them that part, admittedly. So they played a few Crucible matches. They played a few strikes. They bought Gjallarhorn. What we've achieved in that example is exactly what Bungie needs to achieve. You are getting people, now again, these are not brand new people, but people who have not touched the game in years are coming back on. And they're not just coming back on, they're coming back on and they're playing the game enough to get strange coins to buy the Gjallarhorn. If that's not a sign of like what Bungie needs to do, I don't know what is. And so if we have this attitude of like, I paid for it one time 4 years ago, the 30th anniversary pack came out in December 7th, 2021. We're getting close to 4 years old. If you didn't get your money at this point, what are you doing? All right? Like, dude, you've had the Gjallarhorn for almost 4 years. I got my money's worth in the first 2 weeks farming Dares of Eternity for how much I use that darn thing. And I think if you have this attitude, like, Bungie's going to see this type of attitude and go, that's why we can't make the Forsaken pack free. People get mad if we make DLCs free. And they do. Like, Bungie would be right for thinking that, which sucks. Because again, I think for this game to evolve, it's just going to have to be able to attract new players and again, get those returning players who have quit years ago. And one of the main ways to do that is to make some of these DLCs free. And so it's funny because like one of the other reasons people are mad is that like it's just the Gjallarhorn. Like this guy here, of course, no catalyst. You got to crack open your wallet if you want the catalyst. You had to crack open your wallet to buy the Gjallarhorn in the first place. At least you get the little taste of the Gjallarhorn before you commit to buying the catalyst, right? Like people are upset. Oh, the Gjallarhorn's not even meta anymore. It doesn't even come with the catalyst. Guys, Bungie didn't have to do this. They didn't have to do it. They could have just, Xur could have just been cringe and boring this weekend and nothing would have happened. And like, none of these people would have said anything. None of these people even playing the game. But instead, for the 10th anniversary, Bungie did something a little bit cool And now, again, like, I literally know people who have not played in years who are hopping back on to get the Gjallarhorn. Like, how is this not a sign? How is this not a sign of, like I said, stuff Bungie needs to do? We are holding on to this old content that nobody is buying. Who is buying Shadow Keep this day and age? Where you could use that content, make it free, and attract a huge amount of new and returning players, right? Like, I just think that that is such an important thing for Bungie to do, and I think it sucks to see that they do finally do something this weekend and make something from a DLC free, and they get all this backlash for doing. This is so. Of all the things we could be criticizing Bungie about, right? Craftable weapons reducing replayability, right? Like, all this stuff, massive power creep, like, just all this stuff that we could criticize Bungie for. It's like the fun 10th anniversary special thing they did for fans is what people are like freaking out about on Twitter. I don't get it. And Bungie themselves have realized this a bit. Like, if we look at the new content model, we see a bunch of these major updates. They're going to be free. They said they learned from Into the Light, which was free, and it was poppin'. Dude, people, my friends, this was more poppin' and Into the Light than it almost was with the Failsafe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, not quite, but like, it was close, dude. People were playing Into the Light, and it was free. And Bungie themselves, like, with the new content roadmap, they said that, yeah, like I said, these major updates are going to be like Into the Light. They are leaning more to free content because they realize this is when people hop on. People aren't super excited to hop on, pay $60 to be able to play the new content. They want to just hop on and experience some new content, especially if they haven't been playing for a while. If you haven't been playing for a year or 2 years, you're especially not likely to drop that $60. But hey, this major update looks fun. Oh, it's free? I'll try it out. And then you start playing, and then you keep playing, and now you're a dedicated player, like I said before. So, basically the point of this video was to say, this is cool. I don't understand why people are mad about this. And in fact, I think they need to be doing more of this. This should be a sign of things to come. You know, I just really hope Bungie isn't deterred from the random negativity and again is emboldened to make more of this content free. And of course, after recording all that, I realized my camera was in like 15 FPS. So, I mean, I figured I had to fix it, as you can see, but anyways, guys, those are my thoughts on the matter. I hope you enjoyed my ramble sesh here, but that's it for the video. Hope you enjoyed and found this interesting. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.